Hello and welcome to the Goofy Studio. I'm Lily, and a couple of days ago I found these sticks of clay that I made a few years back. The plan was to use them as chocolate chips in tiny chocolate chip cookies. I remember making a few cookies back then, but since I only needed a couple, then that's all I made. And now I feel it's absolutely about time to make the rest. I started with gathering all the clay I thought I needed, but this project actually turned out to take much longer and require much more clay than I had originally thought. Since there were both white and brown sticks, it felt only logical to make two different kinds of cookies. But the first step was to make sure the sticks were less, stick-shaped and much more chocolate chip-shaped. Unfortunately, I did not remember how I made these cookies the first time I made them. And already at this point, I made my first huge mistake. I cut them chunk-sized instead. It took a while, but at least it was finally ready, or at least so I thought. I moved on to the next step, assembling the chunks with the clay, and hoping that this would eventually end up looking like, cookies. And as you can tell, this method was not the best one at all. But it was kind of too late to change the approach at this point. So all I could do was keep moving forward and hope that this nightmare would get less painful. I moved over to strategy 2, cutting the chunk sizes into, chip sizes. Rolling a ball of clay, squishing it out and fixing the edges, and then combining the two. It still didn't feel completely ideal, but at least it was a huge step forward from the original method. It didn't take long before I moved over to strategy 3 though. Basically the same as strategy 2, just with the difference that the last step was that I squished the little ball of clay into the chips. This made the process faster and it somehow also looked more organic, I guess. Anyways, I liked it more this way. When I had finally figured out the best way to do this, I moved on to the lighter shade of brown clay. I cut it into small pieces, and then I started on the huge task of cutting all the dark brown chunks down into a more fitting size for this project. The cutting took so long, was so uncomfortable, and even caused a very painful blister. I think it was right about here I started questioning if this was really worth it. But then I started making tiny little cookies. And they were so damn cute. How could I not spend my time making these things? I really underestimated how long it would take to make them though. My first thought was that this would be able to be done in a couple of hours or so. But I ended up mixing clay for longer than that because so much clay was needed to tackle the pile of miniature chocolate chip. Somewhere around what I guess was the 200th cookie or something, I started wondering, what am I doing? What am I actually gonna use these cookies for? After all, I was just going to fill up again after I made a dragon, but let's face it, he's holding a whopping 5 cookies or something. So there are many more now than there were before, to say the least. Do you maybe have an idea on what to use them for? Please let me know, because I don't know, and there are a few of them. This got a little out of hand because I did stay true to the goal of using up all the miniature chocolate chips, so I just kept going and mixed more clay as it was needed. Eventually, it was very obvious that now I have way more than what I suspect would be a normal amount of a lifetime supply of miniature cookies, because everyone needs that, right? I don't know. But even though I might at times have questioned my own sanity, I am still happy because, I have adorable cookies. And I really hope you like them too, since, well, after all, you did stay for this long in the video. I appreciate you very much for being here, and I hope that you will tag along for future strange adventures. So please remember to subscribe if you want to do that. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please let me know if you have any ideas. Have an awesome day, and I hope to see you next time. Take care out there, and remember, if you can imagine it, you can create it, no matter how goofy it is.